Come, Quercus. Time is short.
A light sea breeze kisses your cheek and carries away the smell of blood wafting up from the deck. In the distance, Fort Joy looms.
Don't stand between a prince and his principles. The Magisters learned that the hard way.
Onward now. The sooner Fort Joy disappears from the horizon, the better. Perhaps the Seekers need help manning the ship.
Okay, I don't know why your voice line was different from the one you picked, but
yeah,
we're not crying
agreed.
over the death of Magisters.
No,
quite the opposite.
And you gotta talk to your friend.
Well, this is a fine sight. Utterly barbaric, of course, destroying a tree and turning it into a boat. Grotesque, but, well, look at it, Quercus. A floating nest, surrounded on all sides by salt water, pure poison to a tree's root. The great acorn could never reach us out here. Well, yes, of course we'll continue our research, Quercus. We're not monsters. Still, I must admit you were right about the shield. It proved to be more than adequate.
I'm going to indulge the squirrel and bow. He's very welcome.
Oh, yes, it seems our shield is still here, Quercus.
I wonder what you hear if you don't have Pet Pal. Like, do you just hear him chittering indignantly sometimes? I've just never not had Pet Pal. So...
How does something so large and ungainly sneak up on a person? You give the giants too much credit, Quercus. I think the salty air has addled your mind. It has certainly been useful, but elegant, kind, surprisingly attractive. No, we have no time for your fawning. We may be safe, but the world is not. Come, we must return to our research.
Oh, and apparently Sir Laura got hurt at some point during all that, so let's fix that.
Spare me, Gareth. We got what we came for. This is what success looks like.
I won't see them tossed overboard. Not here. We'll hold a proper service.
What's-his-face and so-and-so would want us to get this ship sailing before all else. They died for those Godwoken, after all.
That doesn't mean we need to just chuck them overboard. I mean, by all means, chuck the Magister corpses overboard once we've looted them. But, you know, we could afford to just kind of pile the Seekers up somewhere for a minute, and then once the ship is moving, hold a funeral. I don't really see where that causes any conflict of interest.
Don't go any further, Godwoken. We need you alive.
Well, since an accidental combo overwrote that, Gareth said Malady knows their names. Can't she even pay them that much respect? And of course she can't.
Gareth inhales sharply, then catches you out of the corner of his eye and smiles, barely.
Our guest stirs. Welcome, Godwoken. Glad to see you safely aboard.
Very glad indeed.
Well, eager to set sail. Why are we still at anchor?
Not a moment longer than we have to. But we're in something of an impasse. The ship won't move.
She's mute. We need to free her tongue.
So, does this ship talk?
It's barbarous magic.
Expedient magic, actually. The ship is made of live wood. It has the spirit of an elven ancestor tree within it. It seems Dallas has found a way to bind that spirit to her. That means only she can control it. Unless we can find a way to break the bond.
Any leads?
The Seekers, the survivors of us, have been combing the ship from bow to rudder. It hasn't been easy. This place is laced with dark magic.
These Seekers have such a limited skill set.
We lost a man in the search. Malady might not appreciate that, but I do. And I hope you do too.
I think Bill might be looking at him. I see what looks like an incinerated body there.
I'm sure the Godwoken will be able to get the ship moving. They kind of like to feel useful, don't they?
I'm still waiting to find out what Malady does other than standing around being smug.
Hopefully, you'll never have to find out.
Yes,
Spooky.
very well. We
So I'm going to ask what's going on over here.
The ship won't sail. We had orders to search every corner of it and figure out what's blocking us. It's hewn from elven livewood. I thought I could communicate with it, but
She glances over towards a smouldering pile of ash on the deck nearby. Something is nestled within it. Fragments of scorched bone.
that was Brendan. When the ship wouldn't answer my call, he touched the figurehead, and it attacked him, without warning. He burned, like he was made of parchment.
So don't touch it.
Did you learn anything before that, though?
Nothing. The ship is livewood, that much is clear. But I couldn't communicate with it. The Magisters must have done something, warped it somehow. I just don't know what.
Her eyes flick over to the smouldering ashes once again, her head held at a despondent angle.
Yeah, not touching that.
Thank you. We were held captive together on this ship. He kept my spirits up. Now he's dead.
Yeah, I'm not touching it either. No.
Well, where's all these other decks to search? Let's
go down.
Maybe, save
there.
touching the thing that lights people on fire for, last.
Yeah. And if you're wondering what else that Emmy mod added, right here, they had puppies. They're happy.
What's this?
Feel free to talk to them if you wish. So yeah, they apparently managed to get on the boat somehow and decided to just follow us presumably because we've been keeping them safe so far. Honestly, not the worst idea.
Yeah. So I'll happily greet them. And they say hi.
The puppies are being adorable and clumsy.
And I will just pet them both on the head. And then... So how'd you guys get here? So at first they were going to hide on the island. And then Emmy thought it wouldn't be safe when the little ones arrived.
So apparently they found some seekers.
And they found the seekers and got on the ship. Apparently the weird source thing sped up the babies, maybe?
That actually does make a little bit of sense, because I know that in a lot of the other Divinity games, it's actually oddly not discussed very much in this one, considering how much source is used, but I know in a lot of the other Divinity games, source magic is kind of just mostly life-based. Like, it's used a lot in healing and whatnot, so it kind of makes sense.
And they even give you a thank you by the mod author.
Yep, there are the credits for the mod. And I'm sorry, but I don't know how to pronounce the names, so...
I'm going to make sure they show up on there long enough that everyone can read. And dedicated to the real-life dogs. And their owner. And even special music. And the beta testers. And special thanks.
I believe Norbite is also the one who did the script extender that we also use. So apparently they are really, really good at
making the tools.
Yeah.
Yep. Can't play without that mod.
Yeah, I refuse. I refuse to not give those dogs a happy ending.
The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then you notice its unblemished wood. There is no knot, no scratch, no dent to detract from its apparent perfection.
Apparently, I've read some old texts that spoke of doors like these. Disputostiums? I have no idea how to pronounce that. But that's what they were called, and I'm going to place my palm on the door.
The wood groans and creaks. A face appears in the wood, tortured and tormented. A six-sided indentation is carved on its forehead, as if a gem or amulet had made a mark there. The face vanishes.
Okay, so we're gonna have to find whatever went in that indent, I guess.
The Seeker flexes her arms stiffly. Her joints audibly pop. She sees you draw near.
I owe you, Godwoken. Without your help, I'd likely still be a prisoner around here, not guarding Alexander the bloody divine himself.
She nods her thanks and immediately...
How did he live? The worm ate him.
He must be tougher than he looks, to have survived that fight with you and the others.
And the worm eating him.
They're always the last to shuffle off to the Hall of Echoes, though, ain't they?
And is the other prisoner anyone important?
The Seeker throws a toxic look at the imprisoned Magister.
Hardly. She's just some deckhand. If it were up to me, I'd tie her to the main mast and use her for arrow practice. But Malady wants her alive for now.
And is this where they kept you guys locked up?
No. They had us down below, chained up in the dark. But the Reds were up to something in here. Maybe it was just the lack of food and rest playing tricks. But I swear I heard chanting and horrible moaning coming from here. But when we broke free, it was empty.
And were you injured in the taking of the ship?
I wish. No, the Magisters kept me chained to the bulkhead. Arms held above me head, feet barely able to touch the deck. Now my joints are paying the price.
Well, can you open up the cell that you got him in? I need to interrogate them.
Good luck getting anything out of either of them. Our special guest is out cold, and the other one ain't in much of a talking mood.
I'll give it a whirl, if you don't mind.
Don't make me regret it. I'll keep an eye on the Red until the cage is locked again.
A young Magister paces around the brig, fussing over Alexander's unconscious form. She leans over and applies a damp cloth to his brow. She notices you observing her. She straightens her back and sets her jaw in a defiant scowl.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. That's all the information I'm giving to any of you lot. So stow your questions, lizard.
You must be shocked to find yourself tending to the divine.
Ranley, Corker's mate, Lady Vengeance.
We need to get the ship moving.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the...
You don't have to say anything, just listen.
The Magister falls silent, but stares at you with unwavering defiance.
Point to Alexander and tell her that she ought not antagonize her captors, or you could wind up with the divine's blood on your hands by proxy.
There's a shift in the Magister's expression, a flicker of doubt. Then...
I'm a good Magister, loyal. But Dallas, something about her has changed. She's toying with dark magic, like a common sorcerer. She used to sing to the ship. It let her control it. She had this old book of hymns and incantations. It was only ever in her hands, or else locked away in her cabin at the stern. That's all I know.
So there's some kind of book in Dallas's cabin that we need to get and hope that she didn't take it with her.
Get away from him, sorcerer. That's the divine.
You're alone, unarmed, and there's a ship full of seekers who'd happily throw you overboard. You're in no position to make demands.
All right. Don't harm him. I'll be watching.
Bishop Alexander lies supine on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, his eyes are only half closed. His swollen jaw hangs open at an odd angle.
Take a look at his face, I guess.
Bruises swell beneath his eyes, and a shallow gash zigzags from his right ear down to his beardless cheek. Unconscious, he looks more boy than bishop.
And his hands.
Someone has wiped the bishop's hands clean and folded them neatly over his abdomen. They rise and fall in shallow, jagged swells.
And taking a look at his clothes, I guess.
A beautiful six-sided gem rests on the bishop's chest, hung round his neck by an ordinary oiled rope.
Well, that might be what we
The
need.
gem sits heavily in your pouch.
Ha! I knew you would eventually.
Magister Ranley, corkers, mate.
Too late for that now, Red. The bell can't be unrung.
Let's see. Alexander's diary. No one can understand the frustration and shame of being the feeble son of a formidable divine. I reach for the source within, yet that spring runs dry, possibly due to the collar you're currently wearing. Vredeman shows such patience, soothing me when rage threatens to overwhelm. His command of the source is astounding. He says my talents will soon burst forth like a bound ogre breaking its chains. How fortunate that Dallas does such a fine job of maintaining the divine order on my behalf while I study. Under Vredeman's tutelage, perhaps I will be godwoken in more than name.
So they had orders to kill the Seekers and stuff, but apparently Fortitude's the key. Fortitude shall open the door, so I'm assuming that's the passphrase.
For the door.
For the door.
Okay. So, that's good. And you know what we forgot to do?
Oh no.
We forgot to pick up a poison barrel and an oil barrel to bring with us.
Oh man, they're all by the beach.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find more for crafting now. As far as things to forget, it's not a huge deal. We'll find more somewhere.
Someone's gonna find that huge pile on the beach one day and be like, "What?
What? Why? What was someone trying to do here?" I think we now have what we need to open this. Gonna hold the gem towards the door.
Face appears once more. It dips its forehead towards you and waits.
Gonna hold the gem to the indentation in their forehead.
Of pleasure racks the figure in the door. It seems to breathe. All of a sudden, all anguish is gone. It gives you the sternest of looks.
I am summoned. Speak the password.
Fortitude?
Yes. And yes again. The word is spoken. Welcome to the stateroom.
Yeah, maybe don't, talk about your password where random lackeys can hear you and maybe write it down. All right, come on in.
Just one more moment, please.
Oh, there was someone in here.
He clicks together two halves of some type of gauntlet sitting in his lap and turns his full attention to you.
And there. Rescued at last, am I? To whom do I owe my thanks?
What are you working on?
Armor? Such a limiting word, but yes. It serves that purpose, amongst others. Dallas has been keeping me prisoner here, but I try to keep working on my own projects when I can.
What can you tell me about Dallas, since you seem to have spent some time with her?
Despite what she did to me, I can't help but admire the woman a little. She's unwavering. She will break before she bends. If you cross paths with her, be sure to break her. I doubt you will get another chance.
And what is that gauntlet you're working on?
Took it? No, I made it. Have you seen the kind of metalwork the Magisters deploy? This is in a different class to them. As I said, the Magisters left me weakened. But this will help give me the strength to carry on my work.
What did Dallas do to you?
Why torture? What else?
He extends his arm and pushes up the sleeve. Beneath, the skin is withered and discolored, as if it were magically decayed.
She used some form of domination device on me, forcing my hands to do her bidding, and half ruined them in the process.
What exactly was she having you do?
I have particular skills that she sought. Healing, crafting, and more arcane magical practices. She had me enchant a dead cat, for instance, so it would seem alive.
He clicks the gauntlet into place around his withered forearm, his eyes on you the whole time.
But that damn contraption that she used on me seems to have fogged my memory. The rest is a blur.
You really don't remember anything else?
Trust me. Convenient is the last word I'd use to describe the experience. Pass me that copper wire there, would you?
He takes the copper with a nod of gratitude. His sleeve slips back, above his elbow. In its crook, you see part of a tattoo. A pattern of concentric circles rendered in black.
Perhaps my memory will come back with time. But for now, I'm afraid there's little more I can add.
It doesn't really matter whether I believe him or not, does it? So, turning to other matters. Do you know what is causing the ship to be immobile?
Alice didn't tell me anything if she could avoid it. But I did overhear her practicing an ancient lizard dialect. That might ring a bell with you, might it?
Well, when sung, certain dialects can be used to control slaves.
My thoughts exactly. Curious how Dallas would seek to learn such things, don't you think? Perhaps she left something behind to point to her intentions.
I mean, it's clear that he's hiding something, but I don't think pushing him is going to result in anything good. Have anything to trade? Well, we found a necromancer trader to the surprise of absolutely nobody, I'm sure. So we'll take a look at that stuff later. And now time to ransack this area.
I'm a monster. I click and clack as I stalk my prey. My tail rattles like a snake's. I suffer.
Sir Laura, could Corcus maybe, I don't know, make the skeletal kitty see the upsides of skeletal kitty life? Are you Dallas's cat?
Mumsy? Is she here? Mumsy, where are you? 'Tis I, Booply Bear. I am quite changed, but don't be frightened.
Yeah, Dallas sent me. She asked me to get the ship moving.
She sent you?
The cat begins to purr and rub itself on your ankles.
Any friend to Mumsy is a friend to me. I believe the song is around here somewhere.
Yeah, I think I found it. Can you tell me anything else about moving the ship?
As I said, not Mumsy. You'll need the song for that.
I'm going to thank the kitty and scritch the neck.
The cat purrs, an eerie clicking sound.
Tell Mumsy to come back soon. Now that I am but bone, I'm too light to trip the moving door. I'm sure there's a rat back there.
Now that was somewhat more useful.
I was looking at his bone structure for academic purposes. There's nothing to be jealous of, honestly.
Trouble in paradise over there.
What's this? I found something.
Well, I guess you found the switch. So you just stay right there. And yeah, it moved this cupboard over. And now I can hit that button. And now I can get back here. I think you can move now. Yeah. And there's a hatch here. And there's a fight down here.
Hello.
More of the Geist things. I wonder if these are the two that Dallas had with her when she took out Atusa. Yeah, they're called the Hammer's Pet, which is what those two were called, so I think they actually are the same. Well, if we'd fought them then, they definitely would have been able to take us out. No problem, but now, maybe not. Kind of limited in what I can try to do here because I don't have an ability to teleport them. Probably would have been better if Bill had walked down here first, but here we are. And I'm just going to assume that they're going to do horrible physical damage, and you have less physical armor than I do, so there you go. Okay, yep, glad I did that. Well, they've moved close enough together that you can actually hit them now. That's the good news. We're probably going to want to stick to magic damage. Their physical armor is lower, but I've already done some magic damage to them, so... You'll probably want to do the poison after you get their magic armor down, because otherwise the damage over time won't be inflicted.
I'll yield to none.
Maybe blinding radiance, because if I can get their magic armor down, the blinding will be applied even if it's not knocked out by this, unlike poison. Okay. Well, they're not doing magic damage, so apologies about this, but... Okay. Add on them. Now, poison should go through if I can get the dart to toss, because it's having some issues. Like that. Ooh, one of them is... Oh no, one of them's petrified. That's why it's immune to poison. That's fine. We only... Venom Burst is single target, so... Just gonna go for the one that...
Glory is mine.
And now I'm gonna heal you as a sorry for setting you on fire.
Prepare.
Oh, that's not good. He'll do more damage the lower his health gets, so we need to just take him out entirely. Daybreak Surge? Venom Burst would also, like, continue to work on that one because he's still poisoned. It doesn't get rid of the poison. Okay, that works. There we go.
Prepare yourself.
So he's about done.
Yeah, damage over time should get him.
Or that.
And I'm gonna summon some totems. And I don't want to do Solar Wind because I don't want to push this guy further away from me, because if he gets further away, the petrification from the Medusa head will drop.
Prepare yourself.
It's going to be kind of difficult for you to hit it without also hitting yourself, and
Yeah,
your
it's
magic
not.
armor's kind of been wrecked by me, so...
It's just not.
Yeah, maybe just give yourself some armor. I'd say physical armor, too.
Those guards or victims.
Both?
I fear.
Okay, let's just try to get out of the fire until that, You're the one that walked in the fire, Sir Laura!
We kind of try to not let you on fire, and then you wander into it.
Found a key to something. And another one of those pyramids.
Another pyramid.
And now we'll be able to use them to teleport to each other. And potentially other shenanigans as well. And yes, now expect that whenever Bill gets even slightly lost, he will just appear behind me. I will jump. I will yell at him. It's just going to be a thing that happens because it has happened every single time we play this. So, found a few interesting things in some of the notes we picked up. For example, these notes that I believe we found in Dallas's room were apparently from Niles, and they detail a few tests that he did applying purging wands to sorcerers and non-sorcerers, including a couple of modified ones, though he doesn't say how he modified them. Apparently, if normal purging wands are applied to non-sorcerers, they just die. It's arguably worse than being turned into a silent monk. Honestly, both are pretty bad. It doesn't say how he was modifying them, but apparently he didn't get the result he was looking for out of it. I think he was trying to find a way to give the silent monks more free will, but only because he finds it more fun to torture things that have more free will, because he was very, very sick. But I found that the Dusty Tome just contains some script that apparently even I can't understand, despite being the Red Prince, but it might be possible to recite it phonetically, but that's what we need to sing to the figurehead to try to get the ship to move, I think. Let's see, was there anything else? A lot of weird formulae and things. And then in this logbook that we found with the blue pyramid, we find there's the rules for their use. So using one pyramid teleports you to the other. Connected entities will follow whoever has initiated travel. And you can use the pyramid while holding it in your hand or while interacting with it on the ground, meaning you can throw the pyramids and then teleport to it using another pyramid. You can do some really weird shenanigans you guys will probably see later. But just the rules for using those. And let's see, was anything else? Most of the other stuff here is just crafting recipes. Some scribbled notes, but something about Lucian being guilty, but there's not enough there to know about what. And that's about all we found that was actually interesting. So back to the inventory sort. So after that incredibly long inventory sort that I realized I forgot to pause the recording for, so good freaking lord, this file size is going to be much larger than it needed to be. Go me. I noticed that you could have a conversation with Gareth when we were trying to trade, so...
Okay, let's do that.
May the fallen rest easy in the Hall of Echoes.
So yeah, you can of course say any of the lines about Malady if you want, but I noticed there's an Ethan specific one.
Yeah. So I know who hunts the Godwoken as the Lone Wolves. You carry part of the contract with me right now.
He knows his eyes, yet doesn't say anything.
Okay, well, I thought that would maybe be more than it was. I mean, I imagine the narrowing his eyes is because you just admitted you're a lone wolf. I don't know why you had to admit that, just to mention that you knew it was the lone wolves, but...
And why there isn't a second line where I can say I kind of, sort of quit?
Yeah, anything?
I resigned.
Yeah, I tendered my resignation when they started trying to kill me.
Guess I'll just ask about Malady. I have no idea what she is.
She's not exactly a seeker. She's not exactly an elf either. Half demon, Meister Siva says, and I don't doubt it.
Okay then. So a half demon. Glad I didn't cast Bless on her then. Probably wouldn't work very well.
I don't know how Siva came to know her, but Malady's a proper ally. She's not easy to like, but there are times I admire her coldness.
Okay.
Gareth fingers the hilt of his blade. He stares at nothing in particular before turning his gaze back to you.
Driftwood, of course. Little fishing village. Not very welcoming, but you'll brighten it up, I'm sure. Got family near there. Not the adventuring types. For the best, really.
Okay, so we're going to Driftwood. Yay.
Meister Siever's there too. My leader. Our leader.
Oh, cool.
She held the Seekers together when we had every reason to fall apart.
So what was maybe causing you guys to fall apart?
Gareth pauses, then shakes his head.
A mistake was made. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Okay, mistakes were made. Things got awkward. I'm a go.
Lucian close, Godwoken.
Okay then.
Alright, and now I am going... I really hope that just talking with this thing will give me the option to sing to it and that it won't just incinerate me.
Well,
is a towering figurehead carved in the likeness of a dragon. It looms over the bow, its fangs bared at the open sea.
There's a mark on the side of the figurehead. It's a living scar like the elven slaves have back in the ancient empire.
At that moment, the ship serendipitously creaks beneath you, almost like it is acknowledging your observation.
Hey, I know I have... Did I maybe accidentally send you the book during that inventory sort? I really hope.
maybe.
Yeah, Ancient Empire songbooks and that.
want it?
Yeah, yes, please.
The figurehead looms ahead, continuing...
Okay, singing the song in that book.
The deck beneath you groans and trembles,
Deliver
like
us
the
from
ship itself is awaking from a slumber. A deep sigh emerges, unmistakably the sound of a living being.
Just gonna leave that up for a second so that anyone who needs the subtitles can read them.
You are not the witch. You are not Dallas. You sang the song. Now you must decide my fate. Are you to be my new master?
I would like to know more about who or what I'm talking to before I make that decision.
I am here to serve in all ways.
So, livewood trees only come from the ancestor trees of the elven homeland, but those forests were sacrificed, shall we say, in the wars of the previous generation.
Sacrifice must be made willingly. Our home was stolen from us. Magisters destroyed our way of life to end the war they started. Then they uprooted me, and they tore me apart and turned me into this monstrosity.
Do you remember anything about your previous existence?
The creaking of the ship eases into a contemplative silence.
Once, I was an elf. I passed away and was reborn as an ancestor tree in a beautiful forest surrounded by kin of both flesh and root. But that time has passed. I saw that forest reduced to a dead place. Then I was taken away. My memories were lost, like the leaves from my branches.
Well, I guess I'm ready to come to a decision.
The creaking of the ship beneath you ceases, as if it were awaiting your decision with bated breath.
I kind of feel like you've been put through enough, and since we're probably going to end up having to use this ship as a home base, I would rather have it happy with us than looking for the first opportunity to get rid of us. So, I see some minor flaws in my people's use of slavery after my time in the Fort Joy. So, you're free, and I hope that you join us as an ally.
Perhaps lizard blood does not truly run cold then. Thank you. But I cannot be free again. Not truly. I am a vessel and must be guided. Let me take you wherever you wish. We can depart as soon as you are ready.
The ship's awake. Good. Is she ready to sail?
I can't really think of anything that I want to ask you at the moment, so yeah, we're ready to go.
A slow, toothless smile stretches across her face.
To Driftwood, then.
And as the game not so subtly pointed out, this is our last chance to change our party, so it would be our last chance to take any of the other Godwoken with us. But again, this is a lone wolf run, and while I could be kind of cheaty and, you know, have them join us for a second, take all of their equipment, and then kick them again, a big part of the reason that I'm not going to do that is, one, why the hiffle would they let us say, yeah, come with us, now give us all your stuff, and out you go? Like, why would they let you do that? So to me, it kind of breaks the role playing, and the other reason is a bit more practical. It would get rid of our lone wolf talent for a bit. It would deactivate it, which also cuts all of our skills in half, which means we unmemorize anything we no longer meet the requirements for, which I think would be most of what we're currently using. And so then after we do all of that, we would have to do all of our skills over again. We would have to memorize them and get them back on the bar and go through that whole process. So I don't want to do that. So we're just going to leave them out of the party and continue on.
It most certainly is.
And also, if it wasn't blindingly obvious, yeah, I find the lizard's use of slavery personally disgusting. I'm playing as the Red Prince. He's going to be a bit harder to convince. Moving on.
Forward.
With the sun on their backs and the wind in their sails, the Godwoken watched Fort Joy shrink behind them. But their capture of the Lady Vengeance had not gone unnoticed.